Good morning and a happy Monday. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz with a look at your forecast. It's officially the week of Christmas and we are going to have some rain, possibly some impactful weather Monday and into Christmas Eve. It's going to be more impactful if you're going to be on the roads and if you're traveling through the passes where we have some decent snow chances, especially today, tonight. But I will say that our snow levels come up a little bit as we head into Christmas Eve. And so about 3,000, maybe 3,500 feet. So there could be a rain and snow mix at Snoqualmie Pass. We'll have to fine tune the details and the forecast as we get a little closer because it's going to depend on the track of an area of low pressure. I'll show you what I mean coming up. But let's start with today. Increasing rain and mountain snow as a front moves in. We will have gusty winds, but the potential for even stronger winds on Christmas Eve. The good news is most of the rain should end by Christmas Eve evening and Christmas Eve night and into Christmas Day. We'll likely still have a few showers out there, but it's not going to be widespread. So let's break it down because we currently have this low spinning. You can see that counterclockwise spin there, and we have a front with that. That low is going to send a front through the area, and it's going to increase our rain chances as the day goes on. So out ahead of that front, we have scattered showers over western Washington, but the main event with that front is going to be a band of rain that's going to move in from west to east. And with that, we could have some pockets of moderate, maybe heavy rain, but the best chance for that will be closer to the coast, and then some heavier snow as we get that enhanced orographic lifting. I'll show you on the futurecast coming up, but we have a couple of alerts to talk about. Wind advisories in place for the coast and then our typical windy spots. So the islands would be Camano Island as well as the coastal areas of Whatcom all the way down to Snohomish counties. This is where we could have wind gusts of 40 to 45 miles per hour. The rest of us, we could still have gusts around 30 miles per hour, but that's where we'll have the strongest winds. So here you go into the afternoon. This is around 1:30. You see potentially some wind gusts upwards to 30, 40 miles per hour closer to the coast. We could have 40 to 45. All of us have the potential to at least get a wind gust or two, 20, maybe 25 miles per hour, but into our Wednesday, that's when things could get a little interesting. It's all dependent on where this low tracks over the area, but it could bring us some gap winds, or at least winds coming out of the south, potentially some wind gust of 40, maybe 50 miles per hour. I know it's not really showing that, but when you see that purple color, that indicates the potential for winds over 40 miles per hour. But then winds quickly relax once this low exits the area, and it's going to move from south to north. Before we talk about the timing of the rain and then the position of the low as it moves over the area, let's take you up to the mountains. This is our King 5 camera at Snoqualmie Pass, and you see just beautiful, lots of snow. Make sure you check in with WashDOT this week, especially if you're just going to be traveling through Snoqualmie Pass, White Pass, Blewett Pass, and so on and so forth. And don't forget US 2. Closed until further notice, especially if you're trying to get to Stevens Pass, even though it's the ski resort's not officially open yet. Check in with them. They'll tell you when they plan to open up. Baker's open already, and as of 5 o'clock on Monday, the 48-hour window of new snow, Mount Baker pushing 3 feet of fresh snow. Snoqualmie Pass, at least from NWAC, the Northwest Avalanche Center, they're saying about 7 inches. But looking at the Summit West, the website for Snoqualmie Pass, they're saying much more. So either way, 7 inches or greater, so the higher elevations definitely got more than that. White Pass, Crystal Mountain, about 6 inches. Now we still have several chances to get accumulating snow as our snow levels stay very low. Today, however, the heaviest snow is going to fall over Hurricane Ridge and the Olympics, where we have a winter weather advisory in place. That winter storm warning for Mount Baker and the far northern Cascades, that continues through tonight. An additional maybe foot and a half of snow and gusty winds are expected there. Snow totals, this is just an estimate, but it's showing through Tuesday morning when the bulk of the precipitation has come to an end by then. Could pick up maybe a few inches at the passes. Mount Baker, again, maybe a foot and a half, and then we're not done with the snow. We continue to get several rounds into Wednesday, but then most of the precipitation will come to an end into Christmas Eve night and Christmas Day, though we'll still have some snow shower chances over the mountains. But by then, you see again, maybe half a foot of snow at Stevens. Again, this is just guidance, not saying exactly on the dot of 6.9 inches, but it just shows us where the heaviest snow will fall. But it tells us also that we'll get some fresh snow at our ski resorts as well, but this could also lead to tricky pass travel. So once again, you will want to check in with WashDOT. Expect some rain and maybe snow at Snoqualmie Pass into Wednesday because snow levels could bump up a little bit. It's all dependent on the track of that low. So again, we'll talk about that. But let's talk about the 7-day unpack it, because today going to be one of the wettest days. We're mostly dry Tuesday, a few showers, especially closer to the coast. But then Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we'll get that first round of rain. But most of the rain may end by Wednesday evening. Christmas Day through the weekend, snow levels will be about 2,000, maybe up to 3,000 feet by the end of the weekend. But temperatures are going to be cooler and we'll have slight rain chances. So not completely rain-free, but still going to be pleasant. And we'll still have some sun breaks in the mix and cool. Speaking of cool, by the way, this is as of 8:30 in the morning. Port Angeles just above freezing, 34 degrees, but it's been a really lovely morning out there. We have sunshine. We'll have sun in the mix before the rain increases. And I wanted to show you our Tacoma camera. We had a beautiful sunrise seen from our Tacoma camera, and we saw the mountain, the sun coming up. And by the way, since now we are after we made it to the winter solstice, we are going to gradually gain daylight rapidly into January. I think we get about we gain about a second of daylight today, but then rapidly into January. Let's take you to our Columbia Center tower cam looking toward Lake Washington and the Cascades. Just so beautiful. We have blue sky, but you can see off in the distance some lower, darker clouds, likely seeing some light snow falling in the mountains. For Puget Sound today, we'll have sun breaks. Winds are going to pick up into the afternoon. These are sustained winds, by the way. We'll have increasing rain, so scattered showers out ahead of the front. The front moves in closer to sunset, at least for Seattle, so that will bring us steady rain, but then we'll start to dry things out. Highs today are actually going to be a little above normal in the mid and upper 40s. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few spots near 50. Meanwhile, east of the Cascades, going to be quite chilly if you're headed to Leavenworth, only a high of 37 there. Tomorrow morning, we're waking up to the mid and upper 30s, maybe a few lower 30s out there as well. But once again, most of the precipitation will be over by then. Tuesday, temperatures could be a couple of degrees cooler, but still going to be near normal. So definitely not too cold and definitely not going to be as warm as today. We'll have southerly winds around 10, maybe 15 miles per hour for some spots, but winds will certainly be weaker than today. All right, let's talk about the timing of the rain. Stopping the clock, you see this is around midday Monday. Most of the rain bands are offshore. Likely going to have a better chance to see maybe a thunderstorm closer to the coast from essentially along and west of I-5. That's where we'll have the greatest shot for that, but maybe an isolated thunderstorm over Puget Sound. You would just hear a rumble of thunder or two. But all in all, the bulk of the rain, the heaviest rain, will stay to the west. But then as we get closer to 3, 4, 5 o'clock, you see that band of rain all up and down the I-5 corridor. Meanwhile, in the mountains, we don't have a lot of snow falling then. But then watch what happens as this band of rain moves east of I-5. We get that enhanced orographic lifting thanks to the mountains, forcing the air upwards. There's 8:30. You see all up and down the Cascade Range, we have snow falling. It could be heavy at times, and temperatures, especially since it will be late tonight and into the overnight hours, likely going to stick. May have some slick travel in the morning through Snoqualmie Pass and just our passes in general. So then we get to Tuesday morning, likely mostly dry except a better shot for rain closer to the coast. Throughout the day, we'll have passing clouds, likely going to get some thicker clouds, some higher level clouds becoming a little thick. This is telling us our next system is on the horizon. Watch what happens. Here you go. First round of rain. This is Tuesday night into the overnight hours. So generally before sunrise, Christmas Eve morning. This is 4 o'clock or so, but give or take a couple of hours. Here comes that first round from south to north. We'll likely have a break. Here's 9 o'clock. Or so, and you see maybe some sun breaks, most of the precipitation to the north and then to the west. Here comes that low I was talking about. The models are kind of all over the place, showing maybe more to the west, more to the east, but this will ultimately tell us, will we have more snow in the mountains at lower snow levels, or will snow levels be a little higher? But we're still not expecting extremely high snow levels, and it would only be temporary. Here's around 1 o'clock, so here comes that low moving south to north over our area, and then there's 4:30. Most of the precipitation coming to an end. Once again, give or take a couple of hours, but this is a sure sign that we're going to start to trend a little drier heading into Christmas Eve night and then into Christmas Day, though we'll likely still have a couple of light showers around, maybe some snow showers up in the mountains. All right, in terms of rain totals through Wednesday night, showing the potential for Puget Sound on average, maybe half of an inch up to an inch or so. And then closer to the coast, as always, are our typical hot spots, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain. And all in all, it's not going to be anything major. We'll likely have some minor river rises just from the heavy rain we get today and tonight, but we're not expecting our rivers to reach extreme flood levels or anything like that. In fact, a lot of our rivers from about King County southward are only in action stage and forecast to be in action stage. Now, minor flooding closer to the Skokomish, but that's typically one of our hot spots in terms of our rivers. Now, nationally, for Christmas Eve, it's going to be cool and rainy here and for much of the West Coast. And then for the upper Midwest, 30s, 40s, if you want some very warm Christmas and you don't want to go to Hawaii, the Southeast, check out these high temperatures. 70s and 80s, 80 in Houston, about 75 in New Orleans, and then up the East Coast into New England in the 30s. Christmas Day, even warmer for Houston, 82 degrees, warmer than Miami, which is usually typical because of the Gulf moisture, all that warm, moist Gulf air. And then up and down the West Coast, still pretty similar. Denver, 70 degrees as well. And then the northern plains, as always, going to be bitterly cold. Washington, D.C., about 56 degrees. So here you go for the 7-day to wrap things up. Temperatures over the next couple of days going to go up and down essentially, but no major temperature swings by any means. But our mornings will get a little colder, especially into Wednesday night and into Thursday, maybe some mid-30s, better chance for us to get some low and mid-30s later in the week as well. Now, there is a very small chance that if the timing and the temperatures all line up, the precipitation and the temperatures line up, we could get maybe a rain and snow mix in some of the lower hilltops, so maybe some of the foothills, and favoring Whatcom County especially. That would be Wednesday night and into Thursday. But if the precipitation's out of here, then it's not going to happen. Maybe a couple of flurries, and then maybe once again Tuesday and into Wednesday. But once again, with our snow levels coming up a little higher, then we'll likely just have plain rain in the lowlands. Remember, you can always find the latest forecast at king5.com, King5 Plus as well, where you can find this extended, very long weather. And tonight, be sure to check in with meteorologist Adam Claiborne. He'll have all the forecast details and what you can expect this holiday week.